Go. Chris Yost, what's up?
Yes, sir. What's up, man?
Nice, Chris. You take a wrong turn getting here?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you exit, there's like a little split, and I thought the right one was going to go somewhere else, so I ended up going the left one, and then it kind of went directly left, and it's taking me to the strip.
Okay.
So I had to do an illegal U-turn just to get back.
It happens to everybody. My last guest did the exact same thing.
Really?
Yeah. So it's a problem. These chairs, I swear, having this right here is a huge pain with the wall.
Yeah.
I wish we could space it out, but it's not my studio, so I can't really.
No, it's all good. Usually, stuff like this, what I would do is just probably bend this arm down super high, and then you want to bring this part up. I don't know how this.
I think last time
it looks like they have it all.
Maybe put it like
kind of jacked, but
like this. You just got to stay stationary.
Yeah.
I think probably for future episodes, I'll probably do these chairs and then have the camera just a little bit further back. And do more like a wide angle. Yeah. Or I could put the camera there, maybe. I don't know.
Or just get two cameras and have close-ups.
I need to get two cameras. Do you know how to set it up with two cameras to where it's like one side and another?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've been using this app called Riverside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Riverside's good. I like Riverside.
Okay. Because it's directly compatible with Spotify now. They partnered up.
Nice.
So that's like how you can post like your podcast.
Oh, perfect.
But that's what we're recording on right now is Riverside.
Oh, right on. I love Riverside. I actually tell people when they first start to do Riverside because I do Zoom, right? Because with Mac especially, you could use your phone to pair with the Mac and have that as your camera source.
So you could have two cameras like that?
No. It'll count as one camera. But
how do you do
two cameras, you need to get some sort of video encoder. I use the A10 Mini.
Okay.
And you could plug in up to 4 camera devices on there.
Gotcha.
It's through HDMI, but if you get HDMI to USB-C or whatever it is that you're connecting to, they sell those components. So I would just do that. You could even connect your computer through it, so you could show everything and then edit on the spot. So that's what I do with my equipment. I have the A10 Mini Extreme, and it's the ISO version. So I have 8 units or 8 inputs, and I could plug in like up to however many cameras I want, laptops, my phone, all that stuff, and I can hit record, and it records all inputs, and it also records the preview file for what is on air. So now I don't have to edit. So that's what I always promote to people is use the ATEM for your video encoder. That's how you get 3, 4, 5, 6 cameras up. Okay. And it's like perfect.
You're going to have to show me how to do it because this is not like...
It's literally plug it in.
Okay.
Hit 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever camera angle. Let's say this is 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Whatever your camera is, 3, boom, hit 3. You hit 1, 1.
So that's what like when you watch like Rogan or some of these other big podcasts, like the guy in the back is just, whoever's talking, he's just pushing it on them.
Yeah, he's just pushing because it's just an input, right? It's just like you're mic
like
2,
this.
I'm mic 1.
Gotcha.
So if we had to hit it to like switch whatever it is, we would do that. But luckily we don't because that'd be annoying for the audio,
Awesome. Well, so one thing that I'm going to start doing with my podcast, and I want your input on it and be 100% honest.
I got you.
I'm going to start doing polls. So I'm doing the thing I'm working more with Spotify. I just switched my podcast platform from my previous platform to like the Spotify exclusive one or to it used to be called Anchor. I don't know what it's called now.
Yeah.
But Spotify has a little spot where you can do polls. So I thought, okay, what better way to get like engagement than having polls. Right. So it's going to be a little awkward just me asking a question. But the question is, and this is for anybody, if you're on YouTube, Spotify, if you have Apple, just leave a review and then ask or answer the question. But the poll is, do you have a podcast? If so, what is it called? And if not, would you ever start one? And what would it be about? And I thought it was a good question because I want to steer this conversation to talking mostly about like how to grow podcasts and how to grow YouTube channels. Yeah. So before we get into it, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourselves for those that are coming in that don't know anything about you? Yeah. And brag about yourself a little bit.
For one, real quick, can I see the angle that we're at just so I know how far back I could lean?
You're good. But yes, I can show you. Let me I got to keep it connected.
Yeah, you're good. Oh, perfect. Yeah. So I'll like adjust myself because I'm like kind of slouching a little bit.
No worries.
I do that a lot, by the way, on these, Yeah. But anyways, my name's Chris, And Nice Chris on social medias. What I do is nowadays I'm kind of in the video podcasting space to where I'm helping people build their studios, how to structure their podcast, how to even start a video podcast from literally not knowing jack anything to being able to feel like a pro. My background before that is just in video production, editing, for YouTubers and stuff like that. I still do that today, kind of here and there. A lot of food channels, and then a lot of YouTube analytics. So whenever I talk about platforms, that's one thing I was going to even pitch to you is doing YouTube podcasts, because there's a podcast feature on there to where you could be found, and because YouTube is a search engine, you're able to get free engagement and reach through putting it on YouTube, because you'll get a much bigger audience faster than you would on potentially like Spotify.
Okay, so real quick, explain that, because I have my podcast on YouTube, and I've posted all my videos on my second channel, which is up. So, but are you saying there's a specific way to do it that's right, or just posting to it? Like if I record through a different platform?
I think there's like a podcast option. Not everyone has this option, but they kind of put you in the category of podcast because they just know what it is. And if not, you could probably just reach out to them and just say, hey, I want to use a podcast feature. But I think you just go to the podcasts, and then you just show up there, because your video is going to be so long, and they're going to get the vibe because the algorithm reads it pretty well. I haven't delved.
You'd say delved in that
delved?
sense. Yeah.
Really?
I haven't delved too deep.
Yeah, I haven't delved too. That's real?
That's a real thing. That's a real word.
Holy crap, I'm smart. No.
Well, I was the one that told you what it was. What do you mean?
But yeah, no, it's just dope. I mean, YouTube is just number one when it comes to just any sort of video content, because I love Spotify, right? Like last night, I literally fell asleep to Joe Rogan and like the Racka Bros, because they just did a podcast with Joe Rogan, and I fell asleep. It was like 2 a.m. because I was doing some work online, and then I'm just sitting there and I'm falling asleep to it, because Spotify has video, but I think it's only for Joe Rogan and some other people. I don't know if video is fully...
No, so that app I was telling you about, previously called Anchor, it's called Spotify for podcasters, but you can actually upload video to it.
So Spotify bought out Anchor then?
Or they partnered and changed the name.
Because Anchor was dope, because you could just record straight to it and your podcast is live.
That's what it's the same thing. I don't think they changed anything other than it's just the name partnered with Spotify, which I think Spotify for podcasters is kind of a mouthful. They should have just kept it Anchor. Yeah. It's like, oh, how do you upload your podcast? Spotify for podcasters.
Yeah, that's kind of a different...
Why wouldn't they just name it Spotify?
Yeah, and just have it be a category like podcasts, but whatever.
Or Podfi.
Or that.
Spoticast.
That's a good name.
They should hire us.
Yeah.
Okay. So continue your background and everything.
Yeah, so I mean, just really, YouTube has just been my place. Right?
Okay.
That's the place I'm most comfortable. If you put me in a room full of people and they want to talk about anything YouTube, I could keep up with a lot of those conversations. So when I have clients who are asking me like, how do I do this for my channel? How do I do that? What should I do for this? What should I do for that? I give a lot of great advice, but a lot of the times it does take time, right? YouTube isn't like this game where you could just hop on and then all of a sudden you're doing all the right things so you get millions of views. That's not how it works. It's really just based off the audience you are trying to reach and what value that you're bringing. Because if you're just talking crap on YouTube and just making videos and taking your sweet ass time, it's going to be hard to like really grow. But if you're able to, cater to the audience, listen to the audience, and read your analytics, don't get too into the numbers, but that's just what I do. That's the stuff that I handle. So people will hire me to go in, do all the other stuff. And then we are doing like a 3 to 6 month contract with them, because I'm not trying to do a one and done deal, because it's not how YouTube works. It's a long game. So I sometimes will get clients for 2 years because it takes time. It's not like a thing. And I make that very clear. It's not that I'm not doing it right or anything like that, because you could do a video one day and it gets viral, or you could do a video for 100 days and you finally might get a viral one, or 2 years. It takes a lot of time, but as long as you follow the right path and do the right things, then that's all you got to do. But that's kind of what I do, man. This is a basic thing of just, building studios, building channels, helping with production. I'd also do live events. So if there's like a seminar or a webinar, a course, anything that's live production that wants to be live, like in person or hybrid, so also online. So if you're watching on YouTube, but you could also be in person, I put together these live events where I'm using stuff like the Rodecaster, my ATEM, I got monitors, I got sources, I use vMix sometimes for playing a lot of pre-recorded videos, and I could also stream out to like 4 different sites. So I do that for businesses. I just did one in Grand Rapids, Michigan a few weeks ago. Random ass trip, but it was cool. Well, can I say ass? Is that a thing? I don't want to.
You can say it. I don't care.
I don't know how.
I don't give a shit.
Okay. Cool.
Does that answer your question?
Shit. Okay, we're good. I got it out of the way.
Now we got to put an E next to it.
Yeah.
Kids, tune out. So tell the audience also who you've worked with, because I think that's a big part of your story. So did you get your start with video influencers, or was that like your break?
I think that's my good start, because it really started before that with one of my mentors, Benji Travis.
Okay.
Back in Washington, I used to live in a small town there near Seattle. Okay. It's like an hour away north. And I was just helping him mow his lawn. You know what I mean? I was just trying to make some money. So I was mowing his lawn, washing his cars, all that stuff. And then I just kind of got into that mentorship with him. And then his wife ended up making YouTube videos. And then I would be a part of them. So I was kind of already on YouTube as like the friend. Okay. And then I took it serious in 2016 when I wanted to get into video production, because he needed someone to help edit his video for video influencers. I didn't know what the heck it was at the time. I didn't even really care. I just wanted to make money. So he was gonna give me like $100 to do a video, and I was like, "Oh, sweet, let's do it." So I got started, and I did okay. I didn't get a trial. I just kind of got on. I didn't get hired. I just kind of worked with them, and working with Sean and Benji has just been incredible. They've taught me a whole lot. Like everything I know today was mainly through Sean and Benji.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so how did you meet Benji? As far as like he was your mentor?
Yeah.
So did you just say that?
Yeah.
Say that again. Okay.
Yeah. He was my mentor because I was actually a breakdancer.
Okay.
In 2006 is when I kind of like took breakdancing serious. I was in 6th grade, 6th or 7th grade. I think I was in 6th grade.
Okay.
And I would go to the YMCA, and he was working at the YMCA.
So what's the age gap?
Oh, he's like probably 9 years older than me.
Okay. Yeah. So he was like a young adult, and you were...
He was working in the teen center, so he would like, pick kids up from school in like a van, and then bring them to the YMCA. Like it was like a bus, right? Instead of going home, you go to the YMCA. Then he would like make food, because we would be part of this program called MAP, right? It's funny. It's called Minority Achievers Program. I am definitely not minority, but I was a minority in that group, right? Okay. But I'm Italian. I don't know if that counts or not, but whatever. I'm American.
I don't know. You're still white. So.
Yeah, I'm still white. So it's not too bad. But I had a lot. That's where all my friends were, though. We're all minorities. So, and I was breakdancing, and a lot of the ones that were breakdancing were in that program. So I was a part of that, and he was putting on breakdancing events. So in order for me to get in free, because I couldn't afford to do it, then he would allow me to get in. Then after that stuff, I got into the lawn mowing and the car washing just to make more money, and then.
Okay. So that's the part I missed, is how you guys actually met.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then when did you start getting into video production? Did you just learn it all from him, or were you kind of like a computer guy growing up?
I've always liked acting, right? So growing up, I liked drama. So I would do like the drama that people, watch, like TV drama, not like BS drama.
Like the Kardashians?
Yeah, not like that drama, but more just like drama is like a form of acting, right? Like drama class, right? So in 7th grade, I was taking that because I was always interested. And what sparked my interest mainly was the show called Friends, right?
Oh, yeah.
Joey, was it Tribbiani or Tribbiani?
Tribbiani, yeah.
Tribbiani. And
how you doing?
I wanted to be like Joey.
How you doing?
Yeah.
I see it. I see the hair.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to be just like him, because he was just fun, and he just didn't have any care. Like, there's so much that goes on wrong in life.
Right.
And he kind of told me through TV that just have fun, be happy, right? Yeah. That's the vibe I got. And I was like, I want to be just like him. But I found out I'm not that good of an actor, right? I don't think I have that. Maybe I haven't found my spot yet, or my acting, whatever. If I do, I want to become a superhero. But anyways, I got into that, and then I did video production in high school.
Okay.
So I learned how to pick up a camera, an actual movie camera.
Right.
Edit. I even wrote films, all that stuff in high school. I won second place at my school for that, so that was pretty fun. Then I was a news anchor in high school too.
Gotcha.
So I got into the live production stuff there, but I didn't think anything of it, right? Because I hated school.
Gotcha.
So as soon as the bell rung, everything I had learned out my head, it's gone. I'm going to go breakdance now. So yeah, that's kind of how it got started.
How did you find out you were not that good of an actor? Is there an embarrassing story there?
No, I just didn't. You know what? I don't think I wasn't good. I just didn't put my mind to it.
Okay.
I didn't care because I didn't know even what to do. And I have like people around me that were also wanting to do that. Like I grew up wrestling. I grew up playing football, breakdancing. Like I wasn't growing up with people who were like singing or trying to be an actor or anything like that. So it wasn't a thing for me to practice compared to, wrestling, football, breakdancing. I was able to practice that because I had a big group of friends who did that. So
yeah.
I kind of just gave up on it because I didn't see like a future with it.
So is media, would you say media is now your passion? Or is it something that you just do because you got good at it?
Both.
Okay.
So I love it because it's something I'm really familiar with. Like a lot of problems that, we were just messing with this just
right
beforehand. A lot of times that's a big problem. And I'm just sitting there like, come on, it's that easy. Just do that.
Yeah.
But that's only because I've been doing it for so long. And that's like a superpower that I've realized that I have is that. So yeah, I don't know. I just love doing it. And yeah, it makes great money too. So I'm going to keep pushing it.
Gotcha. Now, at what point did you realize that was what you wanted to do?
I think after my first live streaming gig, that was a virtual live event during the pandemic. I still had my job, but I was only making like $2,000 a month.
Oh wow!
I didn't make money until recently, by the way. Like
in Seattle,
I've
right?
been poor my whole life, and I'm still pretty poor, right? But I'm just more smart poor now. But just because money comes in, money goes out. I love toys. I have a Tesla now, all that stuff.
I'm glad you said the word Tesla because I was about to bring it up. Yeah. Tesla doesn't necessarily qualify as smart poor.
No, it is smart poor because it's as much as I can afford, and then that's it.
Okay.
But anyways, so what was I saying before that? So I was only making like $2,000 a month, and I got this gig randomly. Like one of my friends, his name is Owen Video, right? This guy's like a trooper, like cancer survivor, like just super dope dude. And he actually was giving me the chance to work with this group for their virtual live event. And in my head, I was thinking like, I could probably get like $1,000 out of it, $2,000 out of it, because I didn't know my value at the time.
Yeah.
I call, Benji. I call another one of my friends, Justin Moore. He does brand deal stuff too. And it was dope because he ended up helping me get the deal for $6,500.
Oh wow!
For a 3-day event, 4 hours a day. And all I had to do was just monitor the Zoom calls, play pre-records, lower thirds, music, stuff that's hard, but it's easy for me because I've been doing it for so long. And in my head, I'm thinking like, I made $6,000 from that. 3 days of work, 4 hours a day. That's 12 hours of work for $6,500.
Yeah.
Wow.
The thing is nobody else could do it. It's like
well, they could, but they were pitching more because they knew their value. So they were pitching $15,000, $12,000, $20,000.
How much were you going to ask for that deal?
Like under $2,000.
And so did they? Okay, now let me understand. Did they coach you on negotiating, or did they negotiate for you and just say, "Hey, this guy's good"?
So when I was talking to my friend Justin Moore,
the singer.
No. It's funny. That's the thing. I think he knows this. Justin, if you're watching, yeah. Every time I search up your name, that's why you have to type in Creator Wizard if you want to find Justin Moore's stuff. He helps with brand deals and stuff. But so does Benji. He's come out the course too, and it's gonna be fire because it's all about. I'm not trying to promote everyone here, but Benji and Justin have been great for the brand deal stuff. But Justin at the time helped me a lot with the negotiation.
Okay.
He goes, you need to charge for this. Charge for this, charge for this. So, and I'm like, I'm not charging for that at all. I didn't know I could. He goes, everyone does it. If you don't do that, you're just going to get taken advantage of. So I just learned my value through charging for my time, charging for my equipment, like taxing the equipment for them because they don't have it, right?
Okay.
And then the pre and post production, all this stuff. And it ended up being $6,500, and it was the biggest payday ever.
So let me ask you this: when you go into, because I know I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but I know kind of the ins and outs, like the little fees or whatever that you charge. Do you express that to people? Like, so if you're a young creator right now listening, and you provide it, because there's a lot of high school kids out there that will work for $10 an hour because they just don't know what they can provide. And maybe help them out, maybe help them get 20, 30, 40, whatever it is. What, how do you frame that to somebody? Because it's like they're planning on paying $2,000 and you're expecting to get 6,500. Do you kind of sell yourself and say, listen, this is what we're doing? And you explain, this is why you're paying $1,000 for this. Because I have the equipment that you don't. And you don't have to say it like that. But like in sales, we used to explain every little bit, because there's like a saying in sales, if somebody doesn't buy, it's because you didn't provide enough value. So if you just say, hey, this is $6,500. I don't think a lot of people will want to pay that.
A lot of times I don't even bring up price in the beginning, because now if they just want to be transparent and they're like, how much will this cost if we're talking like
bottom
estimate, bottom dollar? And I'm like, well, from the information you gave, because they have to give information too, because I have done gigs for way less than $6,000 because I'm not like going to be an a-hole about it. I'm going to be able to help out someone if they need help, right? If someone can only afford $500 for something, I'll give you $500 worth of my time doing stuff, but I'm not doing a whole production that's going to cost me more money to put on. But I think the main answer is I just conversate with, what do you need? And how can I save you time in the future? Because you can either hire me and pay this amount and get it done correctly. And if you don't get it done correctly, I'll help and step in and do more stuff. Or you could pay all these other people $400, $500, $600, $1,000, and now you're wasting time because you don't have someone that you're committed with, and they just want to get their quick buck. I don't want to do that. I just want to make sure that I value your time, you value my time, and I'm going to make sure that the job's done. So I just make it clear that what you're paying for is definitely way more than what, or you're getting way more than what you're paying for. Like, I'm making sure to provide more of my services than what you're paying. So if you're paying me $4,000, I might give you $5,000-$6,000 worth of stuff. You know what I mean? Because that's what I believe in more. Because what does that mean down the road? They're going to want to work with me even further. You know?
Do you have like a written out, or at least in your head, checklist of how much each thing that you provide costs?
No.
Okay.
I wish I did, because I think it might make it easier.
Okay.
But because I'm still at that, you know, I still consider myself a like beginner in this world. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm an expert. But because I critique myself so hard, I kind of see myself still like at the bottom. So I don't really set prices. You know, like if you ask me like, hey, I only have a budget of $1,000 a month and I want help with my podcast, my channel, my other stuff, I'd be like, okay, so let's see. My hourly can range from this much to this much. My editing cost can cost this much to this much. Video is this much to this much. My equipment is this much. But then I'm over to thinking, and I'm not even thinking about what I could do for you. I'm thinking about my equipment, how much to charge.
Right.
So I think about more of like, what do you need done? And then I'll just be like, okay, $1,000. Let's see. I'm willing to do this. I'm free next week, so I have extra time. I'll do this.
Okay.
I'll throw in that. You know, so that's how I usually charge for now. Just because I think it's important to, you know, just let the person know that they're getting what they get. Because I've worked with a lot of people that work with other people, and they'll spend 10, 15 grand on something that I would have charged $2,500 for.
Right.
And I'm just like, what? And they got nothing out of them too. They even lost their footage. They didn't organize it for them. I'm just like, wow, you guys are getting screwed over.
That sucks.
It sucks. It happens all the time though. Everyone, because they don't know crap. So they hire someone out like, oh, if I'm paying $10,000, $15,000, this is going to be done right.
Yeah.
Which you would hope so, right? If I charge $10,000, $15,000, it's getting done 100%.
It's
right.
going to look exactly how you want it and better.
Even better, yeah. And I'm spending money. So I don't pocket all that 15 grand. People think, oh, 15 grand, you're pocketing so much, you make a lot. Guess what? I'm paying a couple guys like $5,000, $6,000 to make it done right. Because I want you to hire us again or give us a recommendation or word of mouth to other people.
Right.
So I'm spending money too. I'm not just putting it in my pocket. I'm putting it straight into the business. I'm buying even better equipment to make them look better, all that stuff.
Gotcha. So, okay, so let's say there's somebody listening that they answered no to my original question. They have not started a podcast. They don't have a YouTube channel, nothing. And they want to, for whatever their motivation is, whether it's to make money, whether it's to influence people, whether it's to get chicks, like whatever it is, all of it is the same process. So what would be your advice, should somebody start on Instagram? Should somebody start on YouTube? Should they do a podcast? What's your advice for somebody that wants to be a brand to start?
You know, it starts off with, what do you got right now?
Okay.
A lot of the times when I talk to people, I don't try and push equipment on them, just because that takes more away from the focus of starting the podcast. So it's like, first I start off with, what do you want to talk about? Mm-hmm. What do you want to do? So it starts off with the structuring part. So if you're wanting to start a podcast or something like that, think about the messaging first. Don't think about this fancy equipment, the cameras, all this stuff, because it's going to cost a lot of money. If you got the money, cool, let's do it. But if you don't, and you have like a limited budget, or you have limited equipment,
No, you're good.
Then you're going to want to be able to, you know, put yourself into a place to where you work with what you got. So let's say you have a laptop, right? Most people have laptops. Most people have Apple because they're normal people. They don't have Android or
they're not a freaking asshole.
Crap. Yeah.
It makes everybody's text messages green.
Yeah, exactly.
Douchebags.
But if you have the green, it's okay. You can still do this probably. But
it's not. You're not invited to the podcast.
I have.
I'm just kidding. God bless you.
Yeah, definitely. But this phone right here does magic, because most people who have an iPhone has an iPhone 12 or higher, right? Most people. If you don't, try and upgrade it. You could do it. I believe in you. That should be the first thing. If you don't have much equipment, get your phone, because your phone could have free editing on there.
Yeah.
Your phone could also have good video, as long as you have good lighting.
Yeah.
And then it also has audio. So it's about, you don't have to start off with all this crap. You start off with whatever, because the structure is the most important. If you go back to Joe Rogan, now he's had money for some time. So he started off inside his office, dirty as crap, but he just talked with his friends.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to do. You don't need to be like flagrant and have all these cool fancy lights and everything popping on and whatever, because that's not what gets you guests.
Right.
You could have the nicest look, the nicest equipment, but if you don't know how to talk to people, you don't have a good structure for who you're talking to, then no one's going to want to watch or listen or show up for you.
Right.
So I would just start off with your structure.
Okay.
That's my biggest thing.
And so now, will that determine whether you go the YouTube or the podcast route first? Should people do both at the same time? YouTube first.
I think YouTube.
Because the viral ability and the consistency of it?
Just the potential feedback, even if it's negative, right?
Yeah.
Because behind every negative comment is some truth, I think.
Yeah.
Unless they're just saying like, dude, your ears are weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they say something like, then whatever, just ignore it. But YouTube first, because then you could watch other people. You can learn too. You can learn more about your stuff. How to set up your Rodecaster Pro. How to film a solo podcast. You could also learn as you're on that platform and be recommended stuff. But it's also just smart to do it, because back in 2020, when I was first pushing video podcasting, if I stuck with it and posted one video a week, 3 years later, you think I'd probably have a few dollars in my pocket now?
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, or a few million, a few thousand subscribers.
I kick myself for that, because I've taken long breaks.
Yeah.
And I'm currently getting out of a long break. But it's been so much for like the editing. The editing is the hardest part. It's not the content, it's the editing.
That's why you don't edit. Podcasting is not meant to edit.
Right. Well, that's why
podcasting is meant to start and stop.
That's why I've started going into the podcasting and scheduling at least one guest a week. Nice. And then posting it on all my platforms. Yeah. And doing.
What do you use to do that? Because there's sites like Buzzsprout. No, to like distribute to like over 150 different podcasts. Do you use Buzzsprout?
No. So
you just go Spotify?
Well, I was using Podbean for the longest time.
And that sets it up to like iHeartRadio and all that other crap, right?
All the ones that you
like
can get.
Apple Music. Yeah.
Apple, iHeart, I believe, Google, and Spotify were like the four.
Okay, so there's Buzzsprout, which will do it to like random ones that you never heard of. Like I think like Tidal or some other stuff.
Does it help?
Probably not, but it's there.
Yeah.
You just never know who's listening.
Well, that's why. But I just switched everything to Spotify for Anchor.
Yeah.
And Anchor does it all for me now.
Yeah. So if you have to stick, I mean, this is just because I'm only educated on YouTube, but if you had to start and you wanted to be confident with your start, go YouTube first, I think.
Okay.
It's free. You know, I'm pretty sure this podcast one too is free.
Yeah.
But just That's just my opinion.
Would you say do YouTube and then just post the audio from those videos straight to the podcast?
You should be posting everywhere you can. Mm-hmm. If you could post somewhere for free, do it. Yeah. If you have a clip, post it on Instagram, post it on YouTube, post it on Twitter or X, whatever it's called now. Post it on Facebook. If you're not posting on platforms because it's already posted, why? You're missing out.
Do you subscribe to the Gary Vee mentality of post on everything, use everything, or are you more of a be consistent with one thing and focus on that and use other platforms to because if you talk to Gary Vee, he's like, I mean, I've never talked to him, but if
I have.
Have you?
Yeah.
Is he cool?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't really like have a full blown on conversation with him where it was just me, him and I was there for thing with Benji, but he is definitely. I subscribe to that because if you don't post, you're missing out.
Yeah.
Like here's a question though: why wouldn't you post?
I'm not talking about that. It's he's talking about being present on Facebook, being present on YouTube, having a podcast, having a TikTok, having an Instagram, and focusing on all of those. Whereas the most successful people I see have one that they're like, I mean, they might have, like Sean has 2 million people that follow him on YouTube, but like 50,000 that follow him on Instagram. It's a completely different world, but I don't think he's focused on Instagram like he is.
He's at 200 on Instagram.
Is he? Well, I haven't been on Instagram in over a year, so
that's why.
Yeah, that's probably it.
But he posts through Facebook. He posts through YouTube. He does a lot of Instagram stuff. He like schedule content.
Right.
So when the question is around what should you focus on the most, you should focus the most on YouTube because the rest is almost easy. If you clip out a clip, it takes how long to actually upload to 3 or 4 different platforms?
Right.
It doesn't really take that much time.
Right.
People just feel a little entitled sometimes or a little lazy or exhausted. But if you were to take this 100% serious, because people who get by don't make it.
Right.
If you just do a podcast once a week just to do it, but without doing it solid with purpose, there's a big difference there.
Yeah.
So if there's a clip from something, if there's a video you can make, why not post it? Like you might not ever get views on this other stuff, but you might also. So like why not just take the chance of even if it's free, you know?
Yeah. How do you suggest people do you suggest people find a niche?
Yeah.
Okay. Now when you say niche, does that have to be a certain topic or can that just be a type of video? Because like if you're a vlogger, you can't just vlog about like snow skiing every day.
Vlog is different for niche because niche I feel like is more of a style of like I'm in the tech space, so I'm talking about like electronics, iPhones, cameras, laptops, new stuff that comes out. Then a sub niche within that will be specifically Canon cameras or Sony cameras, or MacBook updates, whatever it is, right? But if you're doing, because we're talking about podcasting, if you're doing a podcast where you talk about MMA, where all your conversations around MMA fighting, MMA news, nutrition in MMA, whatever it is, like that's your niche, and you could sub niche every other episode, which means you're going further, deeper into, let's say you're the MMA podcast, but now you're talking about this week is jiu-jitsu. This week is boxing. This week is John Jones pulling out the car because he tore his pec or something. You know, and you go and just have a conversation to where now you're kind of talking about stories. Yeah. So, because what's a podcast, right? Like, what's the definition of a podcast? I have no idea what the definition is, but my definition is a conversation about a topic that is interesting to that you're interested in, that could be interesting to other people, you know?
Yeah. I would say it's literally just a listening platform.
It is.
Yeah. Because I don't know how you could define what's the difference between a podcast and a radio show. Live?
It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing.
When you're on the phone, it's a damn podcast. You know what I mean? You're talking on the phone. There's audio involved. You're listening. There's engagement. You're going back and forth. You know, it's the same thing. It's the same concept. That's why people want to start. Yeah. They already know how to podcast. They just get all weirded out because there's a microphone and a camera looking at them. You know? So
is there a risk to niching down? Because I feel like when people pick a niche, let's say it's MMA, or they pick whatever it is, video and stuff, it seems like those are the type of people, or if they have a certain type of video that they do on, if it's makeup tutorials or toy unboxings or let's say like, you're a travel vlogger or something like that.
Right.
I feel like there's only so many people that you can even collect in certain niches. Whereas I see the people that they have a niche of their product, but not of like, how do I explain this? Like they're a niche vlogger. Like Casey Neistat, you never know what he's going to vlog about.
Yeah. But you're talking about podcasting though.
I'm talking about everything.
Everything? Okay.
Yeah. So my question was about everything.
Okay.
But podcasting goes in this too, because there is a window of like Joe Rogan. People talk about Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is not an MMA podcaster. He has conversations. He's the definition of a radio host.
And
pretty
that's
much
his niche.
But he doesn't have a ceiling, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like my buddy Chael has an MMA podcast.
Yeah.
But he is kind of hitting that ceiling right now. And if he wants to go outside of that ceiling, he's going to have to rebrand as as somebody that has conversations with everyone.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I don't think he has to though, because think about.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say he has to. Chael can do what he wants.
Yeah.
But there is a select amount of people that will watch and tune into MMA.
Yeah.
That's why Joe Rogan has so many pockets of different things, because he'll have the MMA fighter on and he'll have the biologist that nobody's ever heard of.
Right. But what makes it interesting though is a conversation. And that's what it goes back to. That's why I say structure is important. So when you're just starting out, here's my advice. Like this will just answer the question for all the what ifs and the FOMO, because all it is FOMO. There's nothing else that goes beyond it besides you're having a fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Because you think that it's not getting enough attention, or you think there's not enough this. You know how there's enough attention? Go to Google, search up something, and see how many results pop up. Right? People are looking for stuff.
Yeah.
There's enough space out there.
Right.
You could only have 1,500 subscribers, only get maybe 5,000 views on a thing, and still make 6 figures a year.
Right.
So if you're worried about the money side of it, it's there. Don't worry about that. Worry about what you're delivering and where it goes to, because you might have to work your ass off for 5 years, 10 years, and do it. Cool.
Right.
But the real thing that I tell people to start off with is, if you're just starting off in video content, make 25 videos. Random videos, like ones that you're interested in doing, and see what you feel better doing and what gets the best feedback, and then meet in the middle.
Okay.
Because that's where you're going to find out. And then if you can, not a lot of people can, but if you can, make 2 channels.
Okay.
If you're like, hey, this is my podcast where I talk about MMA, but here's my channel to where I am actually like doing, fun stuff with my girlfriend. Like I'm going to the mall, I'm vlogging, I'm doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can do that if you can do that. If you have the bandwidth to do it, you could do it.
Is that a smarter route? Because that's what I did.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like YouTube did not know how to promote me, because it didn't know what I was putting out. Was it vlogs? Was it podcast clips? I had no consistency. So I recently just took all the podcast stuff off my main channel, which I reserve like entirely for vlogs and like day in the life stuff,
which is right move.
Yeah. And then I have my podcast channel, which I've reserved solely for podcasts and podcast clips. And every once in a while I'll goof around with shorts. Like I'll put a short on my main channel because there's more followers. Yeah. And I just put it out there to like promote the second channel, because the second channel hardly has any subscribers at all. Right. Because I just switched it over.
Yeah. I mean, it's important, because imagine you're learning how to cook steak one day, and then the next day it's like relationship advice. You're just like really thrown off. So you want to keep, it's almost like watching like a show for so long, and then all of a sudden you get a random, like you're watching The Walking Dead, and then like Princess Diaries pops up for a second. Yeah. So you want to stay, because people show up for that. Right. So you have to, so if you can manage to do multiple things, which I think everyone can, it just depends how they want to make their time. Yeah. But if you're going to do a podcast and do podcast clips, keep that on one channel. Okay. If you want to do vlogs, keep that on one channel. Don't do anything else. Keep it vlog. If you want to do a channel where you're showing people how to work out or weight lift or anything like that, keep that on a separate channel. So, but stick with what is, like, what can you do once a week? That's my thing, is like focus on what you could do once a week first. know how that takes into your daily life, because you're probably working a full-time job. You're probably doing all this other stuff. You got your own personal life to worry about too. So as easy as it is to post once a week on 5 platforms, you know, it is. So you just don't want to overwhelm yourself. You want to get in the flow. And then once you are like, hey, I can do more, then you could do more, you know.
Gotcha. I feel like it's really important for people to start a YouTube channel when they have less responsibilities, because of how hard it is to do it when you have to pay bills, when you have to be in a relationship. Like I saw a lot more growth when I was in college than I have the last couple of years since I graduated, just because the amount of time I was able to dedicate to it. Have you noticed that?
Like time that I'm putting to my content?
Let me ask you this. When would you recommend that people start a channel? Right now?
Anytime they're allowed to legally.
Okay. What is the legal age? Is there a legal age?
I don't know. I think it's like above 13 or 16. I forget what the age requirement is for like starting like their own channel. But I know you have to be like maybe 12 or 13 with parent supervision or whatever it is. But of course, as long as a parent is, because there's kids who have channels, right?
Right.
But their parents manage it because
they're not legally allowed.
They're not legally allowed to have one yet. But they get to be on YouTube, but they just can't take it because they don't do taxes. So that's why I think. But yeah, I mean, if you have value to give, that's it. Like, because I go on the internet and, you know, I just started jiu-jitsu in like August, right? And I got really into it, and I'm watching videos on stuff that white belts shouldn't do, how to get better as a white belt, strength conditioning to reduce, you know, tears and
injuries
and all that stuff, diets that are good before rolls, and best ways to get prepared for your first match.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So these aren't crazy edited videos. I'm watching this guy named Jiu-Jitsu, and super dope dude. And he just does a video where he's standing in the middle of his little dojo, right? And he's just chatting it up. That's all he's doing. He's just talking. He goes, today's question from one of our viewers is how to get better rolling during sparring rounds as a white belt. Because you're going 100%, don't. Focus on this, focus on that, do this, do that. And he just talks for like 8 minutes, and I'm listening to the whole thing because I'm just interested. He's not putting crazy like pop-ups, screenshots, all this stuff, B-roll. He's not showing any of that. He's just talking and giving me the answer that I'm looking for.
Right.
So there's ways to make content. But yeah, if you can do it.
Is that the best way is that the best way for a YouTube channel to grow, is answering questions like that?
It can, because if I had a YouTube channel answering tech questions about podcast setups, it might, you know, what to do when you first buy a mixer, how to tune your mics to be perfect,
like specific questions, because that's one thing I get frustrated with when I'm looking for something specific and I can't find it. And it's like, how many other people have had this problem?
Yeah.
If one of them started a YouTube channel, maybe they could solve that.
Exactly. So, and you might not get a lot of views, but for instance, if I do stuff on how to do live setups and I get 1 gig, I made off that one viewer, I made like $6,000, $10,000.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So don't worry. If you're trying to go the entertainment route and get millions of views, you'll notice it's going to take you those views to make X amount. But there's people who get like only 10,000 views on their videos. Yeah. And they make a lot of money.
So let me ask you this, because this is a personal question, but I think anybody can apply it to themselves.
Yeah.
I reserve my main videos on my channel for like vlogs and stuff like that. Mostly just vlogs. But my shorts is a completely different situation. I'll repost fights, like I'll repost knockouts, I'll put podcast clips, anything that I think, 1, could help grow my channel, 2, provide value, and 3, like promote my other channel, I'll put on there. Let's say let's say for me, like I'm a wrestling coach and a former Division I wrestler, also an MMA fighter, but I'm not as well versed in MMA as I am in wrestling. What if I'm thinking about maybe doing like my shorts and doing like 1 minute technique, the same kind of thing where I'm answering questions like how to get out of a double leg when you're on your hip, or something like that.
That could be its own channel, its own niche, because that's specific to what I talked about, jiu-jitsu, where he does those, by the way.
Right.
He goes, you're new to jiu-jitsu, you're on your back, and you're in full guard. here's 3 techniques to get out of it.
Okay.
You'll learn those if you go to class, right? You'll learn that stuff. But not a lot of people can afford to go to class or have the time to go to class. But they can watch your 1-minute video on your technique, and they can practice it on their girlfriend or their friend that comes over and they want to learn.
Yeah. Or they just want to do both. They just want to do both.
Or
they
both.
They're
like
just obsessed.
I do both sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll look it up. But that's the thing, because it's like how to correctly shoot for a double leg without getting it stiff. So there's a lot of like tricks you have to play, like tapping the forehead, level changing, all that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But that's an idea that you could definitely roll with, because how many moves are there in wrestling? How many techniques are there in wrestling?
There's so many.
How many people are starting wrestling? A lot.
Right. Well, and that's why I'm asking, though, from the shorts perspective, because I could give a technique in less than a minute, and I could
make it a video, because you're not going to make shit from shorts. Imagine if you get 1 million views on a short. You know how much that pays out?
Like $5.
Probably $5 to $50. But if you get 10,000 views to potentially 100,000 views on even a more in-depth 2 to 3 minute clip on, because it's going to take you some time to even explain it and show it and demonstrate it and then talk about why it's important, and you give value at the end of. You don't just show the moving piece out. Yeah. You show, well, you can. People do that too on shorts, but try and focus on doing the long version and then doing a short version. So you do 2 videos. Okay. That way you're able to, if that video gets 10,000 views and you have an average of $3 to $5 CPM or the RPM, then you can make, a lot of money.
So, okay, now because I don't really want to get a third YouTube channel to try to put stuff into.
Too bad.
Yeah, okay.
Too bad.
But because my main focus on my vlogs a lot of times is MMA, what if I just put it on that channel? Could that still fit in the niche?
Then switch your niche, because it's not a vlog.
Yeah, okay.
A vlog is you do it, and if you're going to do your vlog, even like level it up. I can't even talk right now. Level it up. Show the making coffee. Show the brushing your teeth. Make it quick though. Boom, boom, boom. Remember when I helped you with one of the videos? It was boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
It's fast, because guess what? People don't care about why you haven't posted in 3 months. Right. People don't care about, I'm going to go drive down to the store today. It's like, just fucking get in the car, turn the key, drive. You know what I mean? Yeah. Make it cinematic like a Casey Neistat. If you watch Casey Neistat, you could take that kind of formula a little bit, not exactly word for word, but do that stuff. But if you're going to vlog, keep it a vlog. Right. Don't worry about your subscribers, because how many subscribers you got?
1,500.
Okay, that's nothing compared to what you could potentially start a wrestling channel and get 1,500 in a month. Because guess what? You're actually providing value for people. In a vlog, you're not really providing value. You're just kind of like showing off yourself. But keep that separate, because you could start a new channel today in 2023, 2024, and get way more subscribers in a shorter amount of time. Yeah. Especially these days.
I'm going to check my camera real quick. I think something might have gone off.
It's blinking.
Yeah. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying if that's something that I want to do, then start a third channel.
For sure.
Okay.
But here's the thing though. This is where you're going to see the testing. When I said make 25 videos, doesn't mean make 25 channels, right?
Right.
But what are the things you definitely love doing that you're good at? I would say you're good at wrestling. So it's almost stupid of you to not to do it. Right. Because if you can do that, especially how cool would it be if the people you coach watch your YouTube stuff? They're going to want to keep coming back. You might even get more students if that's a thing for where you're at. It makes sense. You know what I mean? And it also provides knowledge for kids who are trying to learn both or just trying to watch stuff. So that would probably be your biggest channel if you were to start that today. If you were to literally end this podcast, bring over your phone, give wrestling tips, and show people something. Yeah. And then make it a 3 to 5 minute video, and then make it fully educational. Take out the ums, the ahs, of the BS. Right. Get straight to the point. talk about why it's important, talk about how long it's taken you, talk about positions you've gotten in, how you gotten out, and how this helped, whatever it is. Boom, that's a video. You're good to go. That video could potentially have 5,000 to 10,000 views tomorrow, right? Or it has 5 views. Who knows? But it has more potential to where you grow that channel. You post once a day on that, because how easy is it to do to make a few videos on wrestling? If you dedicate a full like 3-4 hours on wrestling videos, you're set for a month already. You could make 30 in like a couple of days, easy, no problem. But I say do that because I would want to see that. I'm not a wrestler anymore. I'm now in jiu-jitsu, but there's still wrestling
applicable.
Takedowns. I need to do takedowns.
Well, I'm already thinking about like certain positions, because again, I'm not a jiu-jitsu expert, but I know how to get in good positions.
I know I get your ass in a triangle right now.
Dude, we got a table in between us, man, which I'm going to throw at you if you say some stupid shit like that again. I'll move it on your face.
I'll throw you an arm bar, buddy.
Listen, we got some beef going on here, and we're going to go settle it outside. You've had too much coffee, brother. You need to.
Not even, dude. This thing was tiny.
So, complain about my wife's coffee again. And
it's veranda Starbucks. Relax.
I know, right? That thing is convenient if you're just when you said black coffee, I was like, oh, I'm not spending money on this guy. I'm gonna use the money I already spent on the free coffee machine outside.
Dude, I love that stuff.
So do you want another one?
It's all good. I'll get one later.
You get one on the way out?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, what's king? Subscribers, comments, likes, watch time. Like, what is? Don't say yes. Tell me which one. If you had to pick, which one's taking the cake? Which one are
watch time?
Watch time is bigger than comments.
Watch time.
Okay. More than comments.
Watch time.
Okay.
You don't know why?
The algorithm?
No.
Oh.
Don't even worry about those weird words. Describe what our algorithm means. Do you know what it means? I don't.
Okay, I won't answer.
Because I don't know.
I don't know what it is.
Exactly. So we're talking about, because you're like worried about something that you and I both have no idea what the definition of algorithm is.
Sure.
I'll tell you a quick one though. I learned this from Mr. Beast. Algorithm is your audience. So if I post a video and it's 5 minutes long and people watch 5 minutes of it, guess what YouTube does? Ding, ding, ding. You're keeping people on our platform. We're going to bring up your reach.
Okay.
Because you're keeping people on the platform.
Right.
Shorts don't do that, unfortunately. Right? Other videos that people watch, if it's a 5-minute video, 10-minute video, you clock off after 30 seconds. Oh, you're losing people off our platform. We don't want to really push your videos because we want people to stay on our platform. You get all the comments. You get 1,000 comments in the 10 seconds people watch your video and then dip out. YouTube won't promote it. Likes, all that stuff. They will not do it. So if you can just keep people watching your video, that's why retention is important. You don't start off with hey guys, I haven't been here for a while. Who gives a shit, right?
Yeah, I don't.
Now it's like, hey, today we're learning 3 wrestling tips that you can use starting today. Tip number 1, do this. So when you're getting for the takedown, you're going to want to be sure to level change. Level changing is important because it's going to trick your opponent, blah, 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 blah. So now people are listening and they're watching. You don't got to think about the crazy hooks or the crazy this or that. You worry about providing the value in that 5 minutes, and people most likely, if they like you in general and how you present yourself, they're going to watch 5 minutes no matter what. Then guess what? Your reach is now going to be 20,000. And if you have a 10% impression rate, that's like, 1,000 views? So now that goes up, and then your retention can get even bigger and bigger. Then your reach gets bigger because you want your impressions to be high, like 100,000 plus. And then if you could get your click-through rate, your CTR, to be at that 10, 15, 20%, even higher. I don't know how possible that is. It's good,
Keep talking. For some reason, this is not.
No, you're good. Is it trying to charge? Is that why?
I don't know what's going on with it.
Yeah. That's why you need the A10, because the A10 won't do that.
Yeah, I know. I'm about to order it actually.
$295 or $395, I think it is.
What is it?
It's like $295, $395. It's pretty cheap for a video encoder.
Oh, no. I was thinking of the dummy battery.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm going to get.
For your other camera.
Yeah.
I told you to buy that like a month or two ago.
Well, I know, but
it's $20.
I know.
Come on.
Well, we're not on video right now, so this is all audio, but it works because
just put up a picture. We'll take a picture.
No, that's what I've been doing with some of the MMA podcasts that I only recorded audio.
Yeah.
I reposted them on, I mean, it hasn't gotten hardly any traction, but I reposted them on YouTube, and then I'll put like a little fight highlight of that fighter. Like, so Chris Curtis, I just posted one. I think it's posting tomorrow. But I posted a fight highlight that I had fair use law to use as like the first 3 minutes, and then the rest is just the picture. But it captures the view, and then people can keep listening to the podcast.
Did you have a podcast with him?
Yes.
You recorded it, but it like died out?
No, I only recorded the audio.
Oh, okay.
So I posted the audio in there.
I saw him once. I saw him at...
He's a nice guy?
He's definitely pretty cool. I haven't talked to him, but I was at the downtown, the town square mall,
Yep.
and I was walking past the dope churro spot. By the way, the best churros there. It's like right in
front of the place, park. Or is it like a little
It's like a little kiosk. It's like those hut kiosks. There's like a hot dog place next to it. Anyways, there's like a churro spot. I was walking across the street, and he was like looking at me. In my head, I was thinking like, you don't want the smoke. Then I realized it was Chris Curtis.
Oh my gosh, bro!
And then I was like, oh shit! I was like, babe, look, it's Chris Curtis, because like she knows I watch this stuff, and I've seen him fight a few times, and then she goes, yeah, he was staring at me, and I was like, you too? I was like, all right, Chris.
Yeah.
You got a girl or what, dog? Just kidding.
Yeah. You do one jiu-jitsu tournament.
I know. I do one competition. No, I'm just kidding.
He's a stud. Did you ever see that video with him? It got like 2 million views, but where he like got into it with one of the random guys that came in.
I'm sure he does that all the time. If you look at Chris Curtis,
no.
He's almost like...
He's a nice guy.
No.
He's not like Sean.
No. I'm not saying it's like that. I'm saying that I'm not surprised, because I feel like he's too real, that he doesn't go with that bullshit. Like, if I go up and try and fuck with him, he's going to take it serious and be like,
he's not like that.
You don't think so?
No, I know Chris. I've had him on the podcast. He's a friend of mine.
I feel like if I went up to Chris Curtis and said, you're a little bitch and I'll fuck you up right now, he's going to fuck me up.
Well, you say that to anyone and they're going to fight you.
That's what I'm saying, though, is he will.
But Chris isn't ego. Like,
he's not.
No, I don't know.
He's like the angel on Sean's shoulders.
Yeah, so I've only ever seen something like that happen with him once, and it was on video, and he said it was okay to post it, but it got like 2 million views.
Yeah.
And what happened was this guy was like talking crap on Instagram to a bunch of the fighters. And so Coach Eric said, well, you can come in and spar with us Thursday.
Yeah.
And Chris, so the guy was like talking shit, saying, I'm 200-0 in the street. Like, I'll beat any of you guys up. And
Charlie Zelenoff?
I don't know who it is. I have no idea.
You know who Charlie Zelenoff is?
I don't know. I don't know
Charlie.
I'm not on the platforms too much.
He beat Deontay Wilder. I'll show you later.
Speaking of, did Francis Ngannou...
Oh, is a fight happening right now?
Yeah, it's happening as we speak. So, okay, you look up those results, and I'll tell you this story. So this guy comes in, and Sean is like, oh, you're going to go with me or whatever, and all this stuff. And Chris picks him the first round so that nobody hurts the guy.
Yeah.
Because this guy's, like, out of shape. Clearly, like, I felt for the guy because I was like, there's got to be some, like, rhyme or reason why he would come into an MMA gym and start talking crap to the fighters.
Yeah.
And Chris like made him quit like 3 times, going easy. And the guy said, oh, well, if I was in shape. And then just started talking shit to Chris. And then Chris like lost his mind. And it was funny because I think Chris and I talked about this on our episode.
Yeah.
But it made Sean the voice of reason. Sean was like, Chris, you got to calm down, which has literally never happened in the history of the world. Sean Strickland being the voice of reason.
How cool is it that he's champion, though? What do you think about that?
I didn't watch it.
You don't watch it yet?
No, I haven't watched the fight.
Why?
My wife and I tried to go. I thought Israel was going to win.
You tried to go to Australia?
No. We tried to go watch the fights over at the M. And
it's on YouTube now for free.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll probably watch it then.
You should watch it, dude. It was very well put together.
They would not. Yeah, I've seen the highlights, but they would not. They wouldn't let us into the little spot. I guess they don't play the fights for free over there. It's like a nightclub.
Not a pay-per-view card. No, they're going to charge you $20.
Well, Buffalo Wild Wings paid. It's like $5, I think.
I think it's more than that. Buffalo Wild Wings. They're fucking. I used to work there. They charged nuts.
Really? Can you find the results or no? Fury versus Ngannou?
I think it hasn't happened yet.
Is there, all right, another question I had, and we're gonna have to let you go because for some reason I'm having technical difficulties. We've been here for an hour, and I got to get back to work.
Yeah.
But is there such a thing when it comes to growth as bad engagement or bad publicity?
Always. Yeah. I mean, you don't want, unless that's your shtick.
Okay.
Then do it, but it's also the amount of times that even succeeds, you're almost just wasting your time trying to be something else that you're not.
I'm not talking about like, sleeping with somebody's husband or something. I'm saying like,
no, I know, but being like the heel, like being like the person that's like being like the Colby or whatever it is, like playing that shtick. Only so many people can actually pull that off. So there's people who try to pull it off, but then they don't make it. Now they just look like an actual like asshole,
right? To
where you don't even want to associate with them, and they can't make it up.
What about like little things? Like I know some people will mess up people if they have a podcast or a talk show. They'll mess up people's names just to get like 100 extra people to say his name is this in the comment section.
I mean,
I have a buddy that does that. He pretends like he doesn't know people's names, and that's like his thing.
You can do that. I mean, it's whatever, but it just comes down to, is that something that you want to do? Is that something you've always done? Like, is that part of your actual character that you think is like funny or whatever it is? But it's just, if you have to go to a certain point just for the engagement, that like it can work, because like especially with like YouTube titles, people like pronounce things wrong, or they'll spell it wrong, or they'll say the wrong thing. Like I went to Cabo, but they could probably call it like Cabo. Like I went to Cabo, Mexico, and it was awesome. Like people are gonna be, but then what value is there? Because we go back to the first part, watch time.
Right.
Are you trying to get comments and just be this, or are you trying to get people to watch your videos and come back? You know what I mean? So It just depends what your intention is. I don't think there's like too much of a right or wrong in that, because I'm not in that field. I have no expertise in being that person, so I have no advice for that. But I mean, just do what you can. If it's entertaining and people find it entertaining and they want to watch, and keep it up. But
so I'll give you an example. I had my brother and I did a video podcast one time, and he just so happened to be at the right place, the right time in the world, that the podcast like clip blew up. Like within like 2 or 3 hours, for me, it had like almost 20,000 views. And I already made like $100 on it, and it looked like it was going to go over 100, maybe 150,000. We ended up taking it down just because we didn't want him to get bad press, because the comment section is what really blew the video up, because people were watching the whole thing and then they were commenting. But they just didn't like the way my brother talked, because he's young. Like he was not like being super energetic, and it sounded like what he was talking about came off negative, but he was just saying it how it is. Like he just was talking normally, but people were like making fun of him and saying like, oh, this guy's like, and it was a football thing. So they're like, this is why, this guy lost and all these things. But him and I were both kind of like, who cares? Like it's helping both of us out. Like, but again, we ended up making a decision to take it down just because I didn't want my brother's reputation to get,
I always say think 5 to 10 years ahead of time, and think about your family, friends. Like, if that's stuff you care about. Like there's people who just don't care because that's just how they are. But think about, like, what if you get an opportunity to work with someone or meet someone, but they saw that one thing. That's how I live my life. I don't know if that's like healthy or not. But I like to please people. Unless they don't care about you, then I'll just say fuck you to your face. But if it's good, then I don't know. I like I said, I'm not in that space of those things. I just try and always be the best version of myself, and I want to be a role model for people and my daughter and all that stuff. So I try and make sure to, look 5-10 years from now, like where, like if I'm going kind of broke, do I start at OnlyFans and just start getting naked, or what I mean? So it's just like,
to me, that, because I know people
who do it too, but like,
I mean, I don't know a bunch, but like I had a specific teammate whose wife started doing it, and it just was like, I can't talk to you now. Like we were friends, like
you can talk to him. That's fine.
No, I'm good. I don't want to be associated with porn stars. But
porn's not that bad.
To me, we can get in a different topic about that. I mean, that statistically that's not right. But honestly, I probably will do a podcast on that. I've done it before, but it is there's a lot of craziness that goes into that. But I know you didn't ask. You just said porn wasn't bad, and I want the platform of my podcast and the people that listen to my podcast to know that I do not subscribe to that idea. I think it is very bad for society and people on the individual level. But
I was gonna say something, but I'm good.
You can say what you want.
No. I'm good. I'm chilling.
You're not gonna offend me.
No, I'm chilling.
Okay. If you want to say something, say something.
No.
Okay.
I was gonna say, what? You never watched porn before? Come on.
No, I didn't say that.
That's what I'm saying. Is you can't say it's bad if you watch it.
That's like saying, what, you've never done crack before? It's like, well, I have, but it ruined my life. So
that's fine.
I have an extensive history with pornography, a former history.
How'd you like it?
At first I liked it, but then it became a vice that
For sure. Yeah, it becomes bad and uncontrollable for a lot of people. But that's what I was trying to say is like, it's not bad, but it's not good.
Well, I think it becomes uncontrollable. I don't think it is ever not bad.
If you have an addictive personality, anything you do, like coffee, for instance, fucking horrible for you if you just rely on it heavily. And then if you, in order to be in a good mood, you need that. Same thing with like other things. So it's crazy how,
I mean,
anyways, porn's different.
Yeah.
I'm not into it, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm just
no.
saying.
Yeah, you would, yeah. I will do another podcast about it because I have talked about it. But I don't, how the hell did we get on porn? You said something about OnlyFans. But no, anyways. I mean, I think it's sinful, and I think the statistics of it
for sure
back that up, like what it does to your brain. I don't think like it's like
if you have a significant other and you're in a healthy relationship and you are in a good place, you don't even need that. So that's what matters, you know. So
I don't think there's any morally to me, like two people that are not married and having sex, I'm not like a huge proponent of, and very much less if they're bringing other people into that. And I've seen it damage a lot of people that have become addicted to it. And
same thing as alcoholism too.
Right. Only for me is I don't think there's a moderation to it. Like I don't think that moderation means it's okay. Like alcohol, like I think a glass of wine is not sinful. I think a glass of porn is sinful.
You know? For sure.
But that doesn't have to be your opinion. But
I cannot find the Francis fight at all.
It is all good, my man. What were we talked about something, and then you brought up porn and how
I didn't bring it up.
How you were addicted and you needed help and recovery.
Not even close.
Celebrate recovery at my church Monday nights. You can come with me.
Monday I'm super busy.
Right. I just came up with some plans.
I know.
What were we talking about?
I forget, but I will tell you one thing, dude. I think you should just keep this going. Keep it up, even if you don't have a guest. Bring on your wife. You know, you need to be consistent, and that's the biggest takeaway when it comes to any sort of stuff, because everyone's gonna suck in the beginning. Their setup's gonna suck, their structure's gonna suck, their whatever's gonna suck, but that's okay, because as long as you keep getting better at it. Same thing with wrestling, same thing with running and working out, same thing with coding, same thing with anything you do in life, right? If the more you do, the better you get.
Sure.
And you learn from it. So for you, for instance, and for other people out there, if they can see me or not, but
I don't know if they can.
It's probably not, but it's okay. But it's just keep consistent with it. You know, don't let's say you can't rent the studio out this week, right, or next week, whatever it is. Get on your fucking phone, just record. I want to get on today, guys. I have I got my laptop. We're good.
Right. Just put something out there.
Put something. Always be consistent. Or if you can't, you know, and you have a day where you're like this, and you don't have to do too much after. You get 3 people in today. Do 3 45-minute podcasts. Simple as that.
That's kind of what I want to start doing. And then as I grow my reputation, start getting into the longer conversations, because nobody's like flying into Vegas to do the Christian Robertson podcast. Well, it's not called Christian Robertson, but like that's not a reality yet. People are doing that for Joe Rogan because he's built
guess
up
how many people are in Vegas though?
That's
how many people are at your church that would love to be on here that you can have great conversations with. How many fighters do you know that even if they're well known or not, it doesn't matter because they still know a lot of shit, right? So it's like just get all of them on, and also try to find your focus too. Like, what's your focus on your podcast? Are you just having conversations, or are you going to have a specific amount of people on that are in a certain space, or are you still trying to figure that out?
I remember what I was going to say. and I kind of goes with this, and I think it's a good rule, and it's probably a good place to end. And it's funny that you brought up porn before this, but I have never and would never put something out, and this was always my rule because there was always opportunities to put things out that you're like, oh, well, this could go viral, and it's like, but is it worth it? Yeah. I've never put anything out that compromised my morals and values. Good. And would take away, like me being a Christian first, I've always tried to make it so.
Christian religion, Christian your name. Just kidding.
Yeah. Relationship with Christ, Christian.
Yes, yes.
But I've never put anything out that I thought would compromise that.
Right.
Obviously, I've said bad words. Obviously, I've maybe talked about topics I shouldn't. And I think that's part of the growing process as a human being too, and as a follower. But I never wanted to put anything out that I thought would compromise my witness. Like somebody look at me and say, well, that guy's not a Christian because he put, his.
Okay, name one Christian that's actually like freaking Holy Ghost.
No,
right?
no, I'm just saying. But as far as my platform goes, I never wanted because I'm obviously not perfect.
Well, I think you're a good person, so.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah,
nice, Chris.
Yes, sir.
It's been good having you on, brother.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, man.
And we are out of here.